Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, we have the turn. I'm going to go ahead and download said turn and transfer it into the actual save files. It should be an interesting one today. Now, I feel like a little bit of an ass, but I said the name of the turn I sent to Dadman. Obviously, when you end the turn, you can name it. I named it Grounded Tigers. I'm sure he appreciated that mightily. It did make me laugh. I'm thinking, you know, that's too amusing to miss the chance there. Come on. There we are. Anyway, he replied saying, a shitload of damaged planes they couldn't rescue in Burma. Bummer. That's a lot of damaged planes then, really, isn't it? It's really quite a large degree of them there. Hey, Dinner Vulcan, good to have you, my man. Yeah, I mean, this is it. You imagine that. Well, he had. How many did he have there? The number that we got wasn't entirely accurate. We had it between like 8 and I think it was like 18 or something, but that wasn't accurate. It was somewhere in between there. A fair amount either way. We are going to be playing the first. Well, this is going to be the first turn that we are playing with the new man bond. Now that's found that moments, yeah. Have fun, man. Ground chuck beef. That sounds pretty nice, actually. Yes, this will be the first turn using a new map mod. I've been saying for a while that I should change. The previous one was absolutely gorgeous, but we need one that's a little bit more playable, really. This will be a shock for a lot of you guys. It's like it's grown on me. I'm not a massive fan of the really like high blur. That's just so people know which series we're playing. But I tell you, it is growing on me. It is growing on me. I do like the font. I think it's a lot more pleasant on the eye. The coordinates are useful. They're not super aesthetic, but I find them useful because, well, it makes it easier to work out. So it's a nice mix. It kind of reminds me of like a map as well, which is interesting. That's a lot of assets over there. Right, so it looks like he split them up there. Jesus. I'm not a big fan of that one. I like this one a little bit more, actually. Right, so we hit that one. I think there's a version which is less bright, but I don't know. I don't mind this one. So yeah, she goes down there. She was torpedoed off the bat, which is something that we don't often get there. Oh shit, they're carrying troops. Oh wow. Oh, that's not fun for him. I'd love to know what units were aboard there. There are 2 of the task forces in the area here. We should react to them. I mean, we do have the G4M1s running naval search, so we will catch up to them. Well, that's it. That's it, Evoken, yeah. It tells you which one is shallow hexes. For a long time, I didn't actually know, but now it actually is easy. Hey, didn't that, Mexi? Indeed. I did little things like that, so people know what series we're playing. I'm like, gonna have to see if I could get some like sponsorship or something like that, like have Water Pacific sponsored by Red Bull Energy or something like that. That'd be quite amusing. As we're engaging over here, I mean, we saw that one ship had units aboard, so if each of these ships have units aboard, then that's gonna be quite nice victory point wise. It always makes me curious to find. I really wish we knew what units were aboard, but hey. So she is being slammed there. The Anakan is being slammed by 12.7 centimeter guns. Abakuma got a really luscious torpedo striking on the other ship there. But they'll go down just the same. So we'll speed things up. Yeah, they can't possibly escape. And that one goes down. And there's more units aboard there. Another 15 vehicles there. Abakuma, I'm not too sure. Is she a Sendai? I don't think she's a Sendai. She might be Sendai, maybe Naga class. I can't recall exactly which one it is. Right, so we see O24 over here. We are engaged, but yeah, it makes it so much easier to actually tell which terrain type is which. Like, we can definitely see which is shallow. Is it Nagana? Nagana. Yeah. Okay, engaging the submarine over here. And we are pulling our submarines back from the Bay of Bengal. I do have more submarines moving to Bay of Bengal, but I mean, this is it. I wasn't previously aware that you could check on the submarine types and actually find out what depth they can dive to. And the issue is that the British depth charges have a depth of 600 feet, and most of our subs can't dive that. I don't know if we have subs that can actually dive that deep. Right, so we encountered the last task force over here then. So it was a group of 3, but it split up. Excuse me. Launch-speed, long-lance torpedo strike, torpedoes in the water. So they missed. But it's good practice after all. There we go, engage in here. So that is the Compania Filipinas? I can't quite read it there. I'm gonna have to get like a new screen or something, like 4K screen would be really nice, but then I won't be able to play the game in 4K, so oh well. So I've got used to having the screen on the right, but I'll probably be better off having the screen in front of me really, but oh well. As we do engage and take her down, and we do see another 19 vehicles lost there. That's a lot of vehicles. Wow, okay. Engineer units, I mean, we're not seeing any squads in there. It looks like some sort of aviation unit, some sort of engineer unit, but we do destroy her. It looks like there might actually even be another one there. That's interesting. So a nice day for us. Even if it makes it through the night, we'll still catch them. They just can't outrun the light cruise and the DDs. We also do have a G4s, obviously running detection from Pagan. So we'll find them. Okay. So he did bombard Tulagi last turn. Doesn't look like we'll see another bombardment this turn. He did, he hadn't rearmed. He just went out and then came back into bombard with the remaining ammunition. Okay, S-36 over here. Cannot wait until we can get rid of these bloody submarines in our waters here. Hey, didn't that BGG? Yeah, new map, indeed. Indeed. Excuse me. Right. We are running naval attack from Port Blair at 12 hexes again. We do have the required supply. And there is more supply and there's also fuel being moved over. Yeah, the map's nice. It's a different change of pace. And also it does make it significantly easier to tell which terrain type is which terrain type. I know, right? Being able to clearly tell which hexes are shallow water is really quite important, actually. It's very useful at a glance, too. I don't mind the... I quite like the coordinates as well. Infinite Monkey did that for me. It's a lot easier to tell, really, where things are. It gives you, like, an idea of... Well, just an idea of where you are. It'll make coordinated things a little bit easier, especially out at sea. And we do have the dots as well, which make it easier, too. Hey, didn't Mixie? I know I said hello, but you said hello, so I'm going to say hello. Mixie. I still fucking love that dolphin, man. Yeah, exactly. Right, so we are hitting the airfield again. Right, now we're finally bombing his units north of Hankau. Just to the east of the Chang. I mean, you can see here, this previously looked like clear terrain, but this is all swamp. This is swamp and, well, river, swamp, river. It's nasty as hell. His supplies either got to go through the swamp or it's got to go around here. It's likely going through here, it might be traced down this way. Either way, he's not having a great time as far as it goes with supply. Not yet in the cranium? Not yet. So we do disable a few squads over here. One non-combatant destroyed there. We had one of our aircraft damaged there. So he has supply, but I mean this is it. We can keep pounding him. If he doesn't attack us, we'll keep pounding him with air power then. He's got to be quite low on supply. I do need to attack it, but I do have the 11th Garrison unit on its way to Manila. So when it does arrive in Manila, I can actually have the 65th Brigade move from Manila down here to reinforce the 21st Division, and then we can hit him and drive him off for Luzon completely. I mean, they're not much of a threat really to the 21st Division. I just don't want to throw the 21st Division in solely, because I'd rather... I don't want to have more disabled there, but then again, they'll probably have to spend a while recovering anyway. So what I'm doing with the bombers here is essentially hitting the airfield and hitting the supply dump, so he'll essentially run out of supply. Yeah, so 2 supply hits there. It's good experience for them, but I'm going to have majority transferred elsewhere. We'll keep a number so I can hit Kagayan over here so I can actually hit the airfield. He might be fortifying there. Hello there, layman. Indeed it is, yeah. I've been talking about it for ages and finally got off my arse to do it. I'll take some getting used to, but it will probably be a better map from a gameplay point of view. Aesthetically, the other map was absolutely gorgeous, but we can always change back. There's no reason why we can't change back every now and then, really, if we ever fancy a change of pace again. Right, there we are. Okay. We are going to be attacking just northwest of Prome today, by the way. I should have a headquarters arrive in the Hex as well. I don't believe it'll really make a difference to the attack because we're not planning for that. Like, the preparation bonus only really applies to bases. But it does help us because then we have the additional support then after the battle, so we'll be able to recover sooner rather than later. Okay. Looks like he's running reconnaissance over Kopang. And we'll be transferring the engineers from Lobland shortly, actually. Though I'm somewhat tempted to potentially look at building up the port, depending on what size the port can be. Having that as like a sort of centre would be quite nice, but we'll see. Right, we're seeing subs in that area. I'm assembling AEPs at Bataan, so we can go ahead and carry 2 divisions down to Mindanao. Right, looks like that is the end of the airbase, which is pretty good for us. Nothing really went against us. We sank a few ships today that weren't carrying units, so that's definitely a VP Pinata. So I'm going to capture these islands so we can go ahead and begin building them up shortly. I'll probably begin to build up Little Andaman Island next, though. We'll be shifting south. I think possibly this time we'll be shifting south, or beginning to shift south to go ahead and build up the Shortlands at Buin. Yeah, the Shortlands. Buin. Build that base up. And then I can actually project torpedoes out from that base, and then what we'll do then is we'll have that built up, and then we'll use that to leapfrog down towards the Lag area. So we've done a bit of attacking over here. So there's 12 core, 8 5th core, but yeah, they're obviously severely hampered there. So where are they going to retreat to? Towards Chishian. So, do they cross the... Oh no, they used the Rendezvous, that's nice. Oh, so Chishian's down this way, mate. Blue retreats over here. You can clearly tell which is like... I quite like it, actually. It's really grown on me. It's one of those of when it is very much like a war game in map now. And I do like that. You can clearly tell which is which, so it's grown on me. Okay. So we have 14 disabled on our side, 2 disabled here. No issue of supply, but I imagine that's because they didn't have that many men to begin with. So 19, 20 there, 81 destroyed, 26, 163 destroyed. Again, more victory points here from this, but it's good to see a unit surrender there. Now we are attacking over here then, so we do see the 44th Indian Brigade, 46th Indian Brigade, 45th Indian Brigade, 13th Indian Brigade. We see the 2nd King's Own Legion, perhaps? Yeoman? I can't remember which one that is. Yorkshire Light Infantry Battalion, I think it is, perhaps? I can't remember which one it is. We do see the Railway BAF, 14th Tank Regiment attacking. Now we may not kick them out of a hex here today, because this is ×3 terrain, but I think we have a pretty good shot at it, really. Yes, I do have an RF gun battalion moving over here, northwest of Prome, to essentially give us additional anti-tank guns. So we do have a 15th Army in here, so 289, yes, so he is forced to retreat again, so he's going to retreat towards Rambri Island, which is probably what he wanted, really. But he's going to retreat onto that island, and I cannot imagine there's much in the way of supply. And the good news is, well, they're up Shit Creek now, because there's no roads out from here. So in a lot of ways, that's actually the best situation for us in an odd way. Yeah, I will do that, man. I will do that. Right, here we go. So we have 336 squads, casualties on our side, 22 squads disabled there. Really, really low numbers, in all honesty. No vehicles, only 1 gun lost. Very, very low numbers on our end. And we destroy further 253 squads, 24 disabled, 126 destroyed, 35 disabled, 2 destroyed, 2 disabled. 11 guns destroyed, 9 disabled, 6 vehicles destroyed, 7 disabled, 8 units retreat there. That's a big loss. So he's retreated towards Rambri Island. Did he move to the north, or did he move on to Rambri Island itself? We've still got units in the Hex. I think he moved to the north, actually, but I didn't watch that. Did he move on to the north? Because I wasn't watching that. Oh, we should have had a bombardment here today, actually. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's kind of strange. I did set it for bombardment, maybe... I don't know. That's weird. I did set that for bombardment. I must have missed it or something. So his attacking is over here at Ankang, and it's going to hurt. It is ×3 terrain, though, and we do hold here, which is good. Yeah, this is what we want here. So this is how we essentially defeat him here. So notice he attacked here with his 66th core. That's 525 AV. The issue is, you look at that adjusted there, we had it adjusted, well, sorry, he had it adjusted assault to 228, we had it adjusted defense of 262 there, 1 to 2 odds there, not exactly great odds. We held on very well there. We had terrain in our favour. It's not often that we're on the defensive really anymore. Preparation minus. We did set the preparation over to Ankang, so gain a benefit there. But notice we only had disabled. He had one destroyed, and disabled. But the thing is, he's used supply to do that. And that is only an element of the 116th Division. But due to the terrain, and due to the fact that, well, he's going to be running out of supply very shortly. He's unsupported. It's a lot of men, but not much in the way of firepower. Yeah, see, 96 guns. So he does have more guns than we do, but it's not a, it's not a big difference there. Depends on the caliber of guns as well. I believe he'll have lots of mortars, but it won't have anything. I think he has some 75 field guns, but I don't know how many of those he'll have. And maybe some AT guns, but I'm not too sure. Okay, so there we go. We'll go through the turn. Quiet turn relatively, but a good turn nonetheless. There's not a whole lot of battles happening right now because we're always moving towards the next battle essentially. We've entered a sort of quieter phase, but we still have a lot of things going on really. I can't remember the date. There's one date not too long ago where we had like multiple battles all across the map, but I mean this is the thing. We used to have battles over the Malaya, Luzon, China, all over. I am moving APDs there to actually move a garrison in there. So 22nd port unit arrives, that's nice. There we go. And by the way, I can change this. Excuse me. That can be changed. It's just myself and Infinite found it really amusing. So we'll save here and we'll take a look at the actual aircraft losses, ship losses, etc. And now the map mod's grown on me. I found it a little bit bright to begin with, a little bit like heavy on the bloom. Is what it feels like, but in fairness, it's really nice and easy to see. It's quite pleasant, really. It is definitely a war game now. So we'll take a look here. Yeah, so 51-22 today. That's nice. So getting quite a bit of victory points there from those units being destroyed. So we lose Athalia, Dina, Sally, Tina, Nell, Zia. God, we lost practically every type of aircraft today to ops losses, but that's natural. So only ops losses today. He doesn't lose anything, but it's just also losing the ops there. Fair enough. Okay. Ships sunk today, then. Now, they weren't worth very much. Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, max speed 10 knots. Cruise of 8. Same here again. Yeah, they were never going to be able to escape there. Yeah, she was taken out by the torpedo, which is a really bloody good hit. But I mean, this is it. She only has durability of 3. These guys have durability of 5, so they can take slightly more damage. But a long-lance torpedo does cause a shitload of damage. So we do see he's operating out here again. And what we're going to do is essentially pull the submarines back and actually operate in a different way. His depth charges are bloody nasty. And if I take a look, what submarine types are we operating out here then? So we have the I-21, which is a Type KRS class. I wasn't previously aware we could actually do this, but if I go over here then to ships... Type KRS. KS. Here's the KRS, isn't it? Oh, there we go, Type KRS. Yeah, I didn't realize beforehand you can actually check this. I never actually looked at them here. So you can see that the max dive depth of the Type KRS class is 200 feet. And so that's essentially why our subs were essentially mincemeat once they met British ASW. Because he does have a depth charge that can actually hit down to 600 feet. And obviously that's 400 feet deep, and then we could even possibly dive with the Type KRS class. So it's just frankly not worthwhile employing them. She came off quite lucky, but she will make it. Yeah, so let's say Type KD3A/B. Well, it isn't. Well, yeah, Allied subs your depth charges, yeah. Well, our depth charges are shine when I went that one. Yeah, and it's when we do have a Type 95 Modification 2 or Mod 2 where they can hit deeper, but they become marginally better. But the best chance we have against allied submarines is ASW aircraft and just hitting them in shallow waters, really. We do get a sub-chaser, I believe it is. A CH, yep, I believe it is. CH, or is it SC? No, the name of it's CH. SC. Is it CHA1? Ah, yeah, there we go. And we do get the CHA1 class, which is quite good because they have 8 depth charge launchers, which is really nice. Did you check the link I posted yesterday? I forgot to check, but post in the Discord and then I'll definitely check. I tend to forget about things I posted like early on. Oh dear, that's my plan. I do have more supply moving out to Marine, so that's near 12,000 tons, about 1150 tons there. Yeah, and that should see us through then. I do believe that they are shared supply to a degree, but I can't imagine it'd be much in the way of supply being shared here. I mean, there is obviously the refinery, so they do produce about 150 supply each turn as well, so that definitely does help to offset a lot of the cost to a degree. Well, not much, but it helps to. Right, Palambang's doing well. Yeah, you can definitely tell which is Swamp. It's really quite nice like that. So yeah, we finally do get confirmation that there are enemy units in Surabaya, which, yeah, we found out later on. But there we are. Still waiting on the tank regiment to be reinforced by the infantry. Infantry should arrive tomorrow, though. These engineers arrive tomorrow, too. Marching down the road there. It's going to take a fair while, but once we do take this base over here and essentially stop him from retreating or like drawing a line of supply to another allied base, then we should be able to force these guys to surrender. So, yeah, very poor detection so far. But I imagine we have a confirmation on units because we have a unit there, so that does help. At least we have that going for us. Attacks again over here. Now, I did set them to bombard. Maybe I just put them... Yeah, they're in bombardment. I'm somewhat surprised about that. It might be due to retirement allowed being on there. That might be why. Ah well, we'll carry on then. Right, we do have tankers moving here. So, Lobland can have... Oh, no, that'd be hard to build up. There's not really any of them that are like a good port. Which is kind of a pain. Thank you very much for that, Layman. Much appreciated. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and build up Delhi. I mean, this is it. It'd take a long time to build that up to size 3 port, if even possible. I think we could probably build it to size 1, but... Yeah, sorry, size 2, but that'd take a long time. He's using his bombers then in a reconnaissance role. We've seen a few more ships down here, which is interesting, actually. But it might have been that they were there, we just didn't see them beforehand. Okay. It does indicate that the airfield damage is increasing, which is nice. And we are going to be running another bombardment out this way. And the funny thing is, Moresby is lower on terms of priority now. And the reason for that is because, well, we got in that heavy bombardment and really essentially knocked it out, which is nice. We're still going to be moving towards taking it. But Wake is going to take priority before Moresby. But I think as far as it goes, Moresby can be done, but it doesn't need Kitabatai, is essentially how I'm looking at it. What I need to do is obviously get the assets moving here. I would like to go ahead and build up this base to some degree. We do have actual airfield expansion going on already, which is nice. If I could get that to a size 2, I believe I can launch torpedoes from there, which is handy dandy. But I want to have like a base here that can actually project power further out this way. I'd like to potentially capture this base as well, so we could actually set up as an ASW base. Essentially, if we're going to go in for an invasion by amphibious means, we do want to be able to go ahead and bombard Moresby again, and fairly reliably, really. I can't imagine he's in great state. He still has 5 units here, so we'd still have to move a fair amount of power. We'd have to get a fair amount of supply, so we want to do things properly. Another alternative idea that I may potentially go for is we might reform the 30th Division in Java of the other division. I think that's the 30th division over here in some March back we reformed, potentially in Java if I move said units down there. Oh, so it's either the 30th or the 55th that could be potentially moved out that way. And that may very well be what I do there. I could have the elements of the division moved out. I need to arrange for an amphibious landing over here at Padang. And then we do have these 2 bases over here to take. And then that is Java conquered. Ban a little bit of cleanup. But that will not take long. Yeah, you can definitely tell the terrain here. It's really nice. Thanks to it, now I know to train hard my squadron. Yep, that's it, exactly. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, that's all we have for the most part. We do have a lot of good ASW pilots, and we'll have more in the future. Nearly there on the ASW. So you can see that we do have Jakes over here now. We have Jakes here. Jakes over here. Jakes over here as well. Obviously, they'll improve as we get more pilots. But you can see these guys have a lot of good ASW. We do have a lot of pilots with good ASW. And so the idea is we essentially have... we'll nickname it the Royal Road, essentially. We'll take the name from the Allies and make it our own. We'll take the Royal Road and have that as our Oil Road, or the Black Road. Black Gold Road, but Black Road sounds better. Black Road, yeah, Black Road. Jake's over here. Yeah. And over here as well. So the good news is with the Jakes operating out here now. How you doing there, for? Well, not a huge deal in terms of anything major. We did have our light cruisers actually find 3 ships out here that were all carrying units, and we quickly put them down. So that was some VP. We had him attack us over here at Ankang and defeated his attack, which is very good. So that's going to put him in a situation where he doesn't have much supply. Need a bit more reconnaissance down here. We attacked over here to Prom, so it looks like... Ah, yes, he was thrown over here. I thought he'd been thrown over to the island, actually. Fun fact, some Japanese subs can dive deep in the Allied subs. Oh, can they? That's interesting. Is that like later submarines then? That's cool. That's cool. So DC-2 units over here, which are moving out from here. That's not a problem. I do have 3rd RTA moving across here as well, so 3rd RTA can actually go ahead and just move down this way. I do have units moving across here as well, so we'll just go ahead and essentially follow. It's not a problem. He's trying to essentially evacuate here, but I don't know how he's going to get away with it, really. It's going to be extremely difficult for him. He's going to essentially look to move on towards this road, I'd imagine, instead towards Akyab. But even then, that's not going to be easy for him. So he still has 2 units here, which will attack again, and then we'll drive on. I do have armored units that allows us to carry on, to catch up to some degree. If he starts marching now, he'll outdo us, but I do have bombers now over here. So let's see. So we have a number of Sallies. We have... Yeah, well, we have a number of Sallies here. We have a number of Lilies over here. So what I essentially plan to do then is begin to pound him, really. The good news is we're not seeing aircraft in Burma right now. He's probably running aircraft at Akyab or over here in these areas. So we'll have to bear that in mind. But I mean, destroying all those H-81s on the ground of Mandalay was bloody big for us. Right, I've been flying in this JAF Koi as well, so you can see it's almost there in full strength. Oh no, it is there in full strength, excellent, sorry. So what I can do then is actually have that marched in there, which is excellent because we don't actually control that roadside. So marching that unit into Magway will mean that we actually have aviation support in Magway ready to go. So that means as soon as we take Magway, I can get fighters in there immediately, and we can protect our new oil, which is very nice. So type B1/2, take a quick look at those. I wonder if we have any aircraft advanced today. Ideally so. Oh, nice. So what we're looking for then, type... Oh, there's a lot to look at that. Type B1. $330. ST. $360 is nice. Unless there's a different ST though. J3. AM. Nice. A2. There we are. Do SSTs use merchant or naval construction points? I think they use naval, but we'll check in a minute. I'm looking forward to when we get better midget submarines later on. We do get some midget submarines that actually do have some respectable endurance. Like, the ones that we have now is the Kogata Type A, which has an endurance of 84. You can see these guys have 500s, these guys have about 1,000 endurance, which is actually pretty, well, pretty useful, really. It makes them more viable in the long run, really. But I was going to suck. I thought I was going to suck, but they won't suck as much. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, so subuse naval then. Okay. But SSTs, I don't know. They have any niche uses, but not exactly amazing. But they do have a niche use. Being able to move a little bit of cargo there, and ideally undetected, is quite... It does have uses, really. Issues, if you could move troops, that'd be nice, but yeah. Makes sense why you can't. Be difficult. Right, so we do have a second RCA group over here, then a Magway, which is nice. Okay. I do have armor moving up this way, but we'll move up this way. Yeah, well that's it, isn't it, with the midgets, but they can be quite useful. We just haven't seen them being really useful as of yet. Right, so we attacked here then, the attack went well. You can see that, of course, we do have fatigue and disruption to burn off. But we do have the headquarters, which helps us out. But the good news is I do have that headquarters, so I can effectively march on here. I mean, they won't recover fatigue while marching. So let's see, what do we have here then? So fatigue's not bad. Fatigue's not bad. Disruption's alright. I mean, this is it. We could make a decision and have a day's rest with the headquarters, and we'd probably not burn off much. We might burn off a decent bit of disruption, but it's probably not worthwhile to wait. Yes, we'll have a march. I'm going to begin to bomb him in the near future too. Yeah. Oh no, we can't move out of here yet anyway, can we? Yeah, forgot about that. So I suppose we'll have another attack then, because we can't do anything else. There we are. You know, I can't remember. I cannot remember. And Pearl Harbor doesn't resonate much for me because we just didn't really have a proper Pearl Harbor. Right, still working on that port. So you can see we're up to 9,000 supply now. Yeah, the other supplies arrived. Still unloaded. Did they use that fuel already? I bet they bloody refuel themselves, didn't they? Probably bloody refuel themselves, didn't they? Yeah. Well, I don't know. It seems like they've been refueled. There we go. Share the pain. It's taken them a very long time to load up. I tell you what, I bet. There's no sound detector here, technically. There's just motorized support, so they are loading up then, so this should be okay. Yeah, there's motorized support and sound detectors, so it'll just take them another day then. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like why I'd like that to be a size 2 port, but then, it could be done, but it'll take a while. I don't know if it's worthwhile doing. Right, move the 21st Independent Mixed Brigade out here to Migui, whatever, Migui. We know there's enemy troops in here, so I'll do that, take that. Well, garrison that, but he can't do jack then. As we do have a 4th division here. So officially it seems quicker to just march. Sorry, to move them by a ship. Near enough, actually. They might arrive here, but then again, I don't imagine it's much in the way of difference time-wise. I'm building up this airfield over here so I can make better use of it. But yeah, soon we'll have 2 divisions here, then we'll begin march along this road. March this way soon. Right. So it doesn't look like it's a strong enough unit to actually attack us, which is nice to know. I will have the armored car movement here as well, which will open up that road anyway. Yeah, he's still not attacked, and it's going to cost him, really. He did have a small chance of victory, but that chance of victory decreases now each day. He may not just not have the supply. And these units will begin to fortify too, which is nice. So they become even tougher then to kick out. I can't imagine he has much in the way of supply, really. He has some attacks here either, which is interesting. I'll have them march down to that. It's clear terrain, but I think there might be secondary roads. Yeah, there is secondary roads there, so that's not bad. Right. Move across here and then south. I can't recall how strong that unit was. 2 units. It looks like I could probably get away with shock attack, actually. I was going to have to keep a check on that. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Let's see. I don't have... H-screen small unit. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Oh, there's a secondary road across here, which is nice. I think that's my hex as well. Let's see. Yeah, it is. So I should be able to march from there without a shock attack anyway. I'll just put them in combat mode just before they do cross, just to make sure. I do have that brigade march in there to join up as well. They're making about 8 miles per day, I think it is, so they'll eventually catch up. I'll just have to bomb that unit somewhat. But if he's going to attack, he's going to probably break out there anyway. I did have the 22nd A detachment originally moved out towards Hankal, so I did worry about the safety there, but it seems that that situation has been reversed, which is nice. So, with them, they've been on the rails up and down here. It might be worthwhile to actually have them moved across here to prevent him moving here, or at least have a unit then to deal with it. I could march them up over this way, but a division's going to march this way. I don't have a lot of units here, but it's still taking some time. I think I'll have that send that way, really. I think that's major road on where they are. Yeah, that should be major. I know it's secondary, okay. Alright, fair enough. Right. Now, I do have 37th Division over here, which is going to march north. Which should give us the actual ability to kick that unit out now. Or at least to actually force it to retreat, I should say. forgot to tell them to stop moving over there, but that's okay. How much aviation do I have here? I still have another aviation unit, so that's fine. I think I have another one marching up the road as well. Yes. Yes, okay, that's fine. We'll continue as is then. We have 41st Division here. 27th Division here. Was previously in the north. He's now back in the area. So, they're going to move down to SunYan. From SunYan, we'll have them move via rail wherever they need to go. I do have 26th Division over here somewhere. I think they're not yet on the rails, but they might, yeah. So another day, and then they're packed, and then another day. So 2 days they'll be out. So the 29th of February, they will be moving out via rail. Which is nice. Okay, so there's moving units here. I do have a unit here then, to make sure we hold on to that hex. I do have a mixed brigade marching out that way, I believe. That one's there. Right. I reformed a number of divisions over here at Buktan. What I might go ahead and do is potentially take one of the smaller divisions, or maybe take a detachment of said division, and have it moved out to this base to deal with that unit moving there. I don't know how strong it is, but I'm going to take it seriously and make sure we do whack in. Marching over here to the north. So 5 miles a day. Our units making their way through the deserts. Armored units moving north. Oh, they're moving direct. That's so silly. Why are they moving in that way? Yeah, move across there. That's what I expected them to do. Now, that actually does bring a little bit of IJ infantry, which is nice. I do need about 20 garrisons, so it's useful nonetheless. And I do have another aviation unit marching up there. Yeah, there we go. So we have the 207th Aviation. Oh, looks like... actually, no. They'll arrive at Kunchang tomorrow. So a few days out from Langkao, but with those 2 aviation units, I should be able to garrison that, no problem. Hey, Hilt, good to have you, my man. 9th Tank Regiment's position here. Okay. Oops, no. I own that hex. I mean, this is why bases are so useful. Yeah, you can see the tanks are moving down this way. Yeah, so moving towards the Wooded Rough, and then we have one more Wooded Rough to go to. It's going to be interesting. I do wonder where the actual battle is going to take place. Whether it will be at Kienko, or whether it will be here. I mean, at Kienko, it would be kind of rough because we'd have to cross the river, but not necessarily so. We could even potentially just take a road. Well, we could even just take the path south here. And then I could move towards the actual secondary roads over this way. But then I could actually take the decision to cross into clear terrain from that point. I could even move here and cross into clear terrain. And that might be a better idea to do then, because he doesn't receive any benefit from fortifications or anything like that. But obviously taking that base there at Kienko would be great. But we'll see. Yeah, so you see he attacked us over here, but this is it. We didn't take much of the way in casualties. You can see that we have supply requirements over here to fulfill. So you can imagine he's gonna have that, but worse. Much, much worse. Infinitely worse. Yes, we do have a couple guns there, which is nice. If you take a look, we own that, and we own that hexide. He has these hexides over here we can draw supply from, but it's going to be hell to get there. Did we see in the report? I don't think in the report it was shy of supply. No, just leaders. But I can't imagine he'll have much in the way of supply after that. What I need to do then is get units over here. But this is it. That's the thing about the 66 core. It would have been much better here, but even then, it would have been destroyed. Well, it'd been forced back and forced back and forced back. Imperial Guard marching north there. So they're marching north today then. It's major road, so they'll arrive there 2 days. Yeah. I may just attack that unit there. I don't imagine I'd kick them out, but once I get the Imperial Guard Division there, then we should be able to manage it. So I do have these tank regiments marching here. One's moving to Magway. It does make me wonder, should I get... I'd probably be better off getting tanks onto this area here. I mean, the good news is we know that tanks can be quite effective against Chinese units, even in ×3 terrain, because they just don't have AT guns. The Brits do, so we've got to bear that in mind. So we've got to be kind of careful how we operate around them. But we're alright. Okay. So I'm moving the AKEs into Port Blair. The reason being, well, it gives me an emergency source of supply if needs be, but I won't use it like that. But it does mean that we can actually rearm the heavy cruisers there. Hey, done a family-friendly bot? Yeah, do my pipe indeed. I think it's definitely different, but I think it's nice. I think it's a nice change. I like the actual text, it's quite good. It's like playing a war game. The cool thing is you guys can see exactly what kind of terrain we're looking at, which is nice. Makes it easy for you guys to understand what's going on too. Understand what sort of dangers and what sort of advantages we may have. There we go. So I do have the Mortar Battalion here for the time being. What I'm doing here is essentially putting a barrier around Canton in every direction, just to make sure he can't get to Canton without having to move through one of our units, which he can't. It's easy enough to change the map. You just change the actual folders. It's pretty easy like that, really. But I do hope you're all doing well. How are you guys doing today? You up to much? Okay. Right. So, we do have more APs over here now. AKTs as well. A fair amount of sea lift capacity there. A number of PBs there to recover. Oh, recovering from a... Wow. That's a hell of a lot more physical than I've done all month. Essentially. No, that sounds good, man. Congratulations. There we go. So we do have a couple more APs moving down this way from the Pescadores Island. Right. So I can carry 20,000 troops. Okay. We'll get 48th moving then. That uses a fair whack. Now, do I want to take an artillery? I think it's probably worthwhile taking artillery. I might go ahead and just take the army to begin with, perhaps. And I do have a lot of ships here, but I don't want to get caught in a situation of where we have like too many men on one ship. We are moving through waters that might be potentially infested by subs. There are still potentially PT boats around here. So we're going to heavily insulate this convoy. So move slowly, which is a danger. We'll need some supply, but in fairness I could get supply moved in there. I don't want to suck it all out of Luzon. Yeah, so at least this way we have 48th on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships there, the army on the others. Okay. So I do have the DDs. I mean, that would allow them to move fairly quickly, in fact. I could probably find a few more warships, perhaps, to escort. Likely so. Right, so I do have some naval guard over here, then. It's only 6 counter 7 AV on the garrison, but I do have Nadakazi moving north there, carrying enough AV that it should actually fill out the garrison, which is nice. DMS is moving towards the truck. Yeah, these guys successfully destroy targets. Return to Babaldo up there to rearm, refuel. Yeah. It doesn't appear as if he's marching his units over here, which is good. I can draw on supply from BLeAcHACiD, perhaps. I do have some supply down here, but I'd rather draw it from places where it's actually being produced. Yeah, we do have some DDs over here so I can actually escort that. You can see that we're going to have a much better chance against these assets out here. Yeah, they're running patrols in this area now. So this is it. You can see that we are keenly aware now of the subs in this area. We're not seeing any subs in this area right now, but that's good. Right, I do have a number of submarines moving north. These are the type KD3. Yeah. Might make us. We'll probably make a stop in Singapore before we go north, just make sure we can properly repair them. Yeah, we'll be quite careful how we use them. If those bases were empty, did that mean that he lost a VP himself, so he's not capturing them for some time? Well, yes, it does mean he's losing VP, which is a good thing. Also, we didn't take that into consideration beforehand. But it's one of those of, I'd rather wrap it up. And it generates a good amount of VP over time, but then destroying his units will generate more VP, I'd imagine, in a shorter space of time. But it also means that we actually gain the use of Mindanao. Yeah. There are, I mean, this is it. While we're getting ready to move in, it's nice that he's not garrisoning them. Because then, well, we are gaining VP there. Well, he's losing VP. We're not gaining VP, he's losing VP. Which is useful. But we still need to take Mindanao. But it's certainly something to take into consideration. Something I'd not brought up previously, actually. And it would have been easy to load these guys up from Manila, but that's fine. We'll just manage it as we are. Now, I'm not in any rush to take Mindanao as such, so I will take a safer path. Actually, I can just tell them to take a safer path. Quite literally, safer path. Yeah. There's not much in the island, but it's something we still have to take. That one got pretty quick, so we managed to grab that light industry, which is probably the best on the island, really. Do need to take a couple of these bases out here, but not too much. Yeah, light industry and resources. I mean, we've got the light industry, which is nice. The resources obviously aren't worth that much. We have plenty of resources. So it's not too bad. Right, so what I can do here then, so we do have tankers that just arrived out here, which is nice. Yeah. Let's expand them into port for now. So we have Sawakazi, Hakazi, Hokazi, Suga. You can escort for me a delivery of supply. I do have some fast-moving ships here if I so wish to use them, but I do not. I do not need them. Well, this is one of those situations where you have to choose between nice stuff and bad stuff. Minakazi. Yeah, they're all the DDs. Momi. They still have their uses, really. I do sometimes wonder if I should still convert the Minakazi, but then again, we're not going to need APDs as much in this game. That's 12k. I think I'd rather go for smaller capacity. Shimis. It doesn't really matter what you escort them with, to be honest. If you're expecting to be attacked by surface units, then yeah, obviously you want to have something that's like a proper warship. But if all you're expecting is submarine attacks, then just essentially anything with bloody guns, fair enough. It's like I've said this throughout the series, really, that as far as it goes for ASW, having escorts is superb. But unless you're in shallow waters, it really doesn't make that much of a difference, in my opinion. As long as you have a gun to force the submarine to stay below the waves and have to rely on torpedoes, that's pretty much half the job done there. I don't underestimate ASW, I just don't... I just don't believe it's worthwhile. Well, obviously I do believe it's worthwhile. What I'm saying is, essentially, I'm not going to get anal about having to have DDs to escort stuff. A DD's great, but if you're escorting a tanker, and there's no chance of surface interception, just use any PB, frankly. Anything that has a gun is sufficient. If you're moving through shallow waters, then yeah. You can pay more attention to that. But if you're moving through shallow waters, then any old PB can do anyway. Just in my opinion, you don't need to be too anal about it. If you're expected to be attacked by surface stuff, then yeah, have warships. If you're not, then the best you can do is just have a gunship, well, just have a PB in with the actual tankers. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to really look after it, then sure, put, like, sub-chasers and etc. in there. Not necessarily so there, BGG. The thing is, if you operate like that, you're going to kind of restrict yourself, and you can kind of tie yourself in knots, really. Ideally, yeah, use the best you have, but you don't have to. Don't get caught up in traps, essentially. You don't have to do things only one way. It's all about context. It's like I'm escorting these guys with DDs, because I might expect PTs around here. That, and I'd like to utilize their speed. But if I didn't expect, or at least in some way worry about the prospect of PT boats or something like that, then I could just use PBs. But because I do have cargo ships that do have more speed, then it makes more sense to use DDs, because these guys allow these guys to use their speed. Well, these guys allow them to use their speed more. And speed is a defense all of its own, really. My comments would have made more sense if I had the chance to write them down. I was having to trying to figure out how to actually word that. Right. So get a decent amount of supply on here, then get them moved out. I'm going to give them 1 day to load up, so I don't load up too much. I do wish there was like a way to set the amount of supplies to load, but unfortunately not. Okay. I do need to go ahead and actually organize for the 5th Air Division to be moved out from here. I would like to have it moved to Palembang, frankly. Well, to this base at Palembang. Sumatra. I'm gonna have the Chuggy, yeah. Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's all about context. It's like we've had battleships escorted by PBs before. I don't really need that AV there anymore. Yeah, see, this is it. With like something like this, I'd rather have something that can actually make good speed. So I used a torpedo boat. But I don't give a shit. I mean, it's nice that it has a Type 95 twos. I mean, that's actually quite nice. I was going to say I don't give a shit if it's got torpedo depth charges or not, but speed matters. But it's actually quite handy that it does have those, so that's quite nice, actually. Yeah, there's a certain class of DD that I can't wait for. Yeah, well that's it. But they're still useful to have, and frankly, what you've got to remember is, like, the submarines, yes, they will use torpedoes, but they still have deck guns too. And if you don't have the best available, then any old PB does, in my opinion. Just don't get caught up. The thing is, it's like, perfect is the enemy of good, and if it's good enough, it's good enough. Frankly. 8-3 apparently, that's nice. Not too long until they arrive, actually, apparently. Yes. That's a nice ship. Having the 8 dual-purpose guns is very nice. Yeah. See, like the Americans, we do suffer with ASW because we don't tend to have a lot of depth charge launchers. Sometimes, I mean, yeah, you can see that Type 2 there is not bad. Depth 476 is not bad, apparently. But having more is often better than having... Yeah, just have more. Just more is good. More's good. Go for more. God's sake, Sills. Oh, he did pick that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Just more. I do like the escorts. See, before I do send this turn to... Well, when I do send this turn to Dan Manley, we do need to update the scenario file. So I'm going to get that done, I think, today. Because there is, like, a type of radar that we don't actually get right now because it's kind of broken in this scenario file. So we're going to update. So you're going to... Yeah. And so if you've actually got that file, Parmentier, if you've actually got the updated file, sorry, yeah, the updated scenario file for scenario 1, then I'd appreciate if you could send me that. Yeah, and a max 1. Tried downloaded it, tried turning it into .exe, well, the executable, and it didn't work for me, so. If somebody has a file at hand, I'd be so happy. But yeah, I think we do update so we can actually get the radar there. And, didn't you say it fixes some other stuff as well, which is nice. Too bad there are so few with depth charge mortars, yeah. Right, okay, let's check on the R&D then. We're actually doing really quite nice so far. And the poor man's hat joke. Oh, nice, we got another advancement. Excellent. Well, that's not bad then. I would have preferred it yesterday, but that's still still nice. Oh, he's made 2 updates. Oh, wow. Didn't know about that. Yeah, I'd love to know. I'd love to know. So how do you guys feel about the map mod then so far? I mean, I really do like how the home islands look. I do like the actual font. I think it's a nice change of pace there, really. Yes, apparently you can update it, and apparently it's fine. I think it just changes database values. I don't think it really changes anything else. So I think we should be okay, but obviously we could always revert if there's any issues. I think if we both update them, we're both good. Yeah, I'd say that, BGG. BGG. Okay. So do we have another roofie here that can be advanced? So to the A6M5. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I like it too. I do like it. It makes a nice change of pace, doesn't it, really? The one I was using before, I've been using for a long time. So it's nice to have something different. There we are. That's fine. Right, so we have 4 over here then. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Yeah, just 3 more over here then. These guys have been advanced now quite quickly. You can see that obviously this is going to arrive fairly soon, so these guys will repair quite quickly. But we're going to have them mostly placed towards the A6M8. But we are going to make 4% per turn now, which is nice, so we finally get in there. And we'll start to advance it. Okay. The Helen's making good progress now, 3% a turn. Oh, I appreciate that, Vogue, and that's really nice of you, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So still on 5 at 4, which is not bad still. Would have been nice if I had like 30s, but hey ho. I like good optimism. I don't know anything about the bloody technicals. I just never look into it enough, unless I have to, and then I will look into it. Oh, testing it, okay. I do wonder about vehicles. I know people have been bringing this up, actually. I was reading on AAR, where they did increase the amount of vehicles, actually. And I believe that was also so they could upgrade, but I don't know if we're going to upgrade. I don't know if we're going to upgrade the majority of units. There's only a few units that are really going to be upgraded. It's one of those, isn't it? Yes, we'd have better tanks or better guns. But I don't know how much we really want that. Well, we'll see. I'd have to really take a look into vehicles to decide there. We are in a unique position, essentially. Our armament points is... okay, not too bad. I also do want to make sure we can keep on producing guns, so I've got to make sure I keep a pretty healthy pull there. Okay. No, we're looking pretty good. I mean, we're in a pretty interesting situation. And we're in a situation now where we do actually have the opportunity to potentially make usage of Chinese industry. I mean, we're gaining here Chinese oil, which is excellent. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is it. It'd be worthwhile for the divisions upgraded, I might imagine. But then again, I don't know. It might, I don't know, I think we'll have to take a look at it by theatre, perhaps. It's something I'll have to take a look into, really. Right, so I do have you here. What I'm going to do is actually leave you in this position for now. I can have the armoured car company move here just to the north just to take control of that hex side there. Just helps me then so I can actually just keep control of this area. He'll retreat towards Yunnan. It's not like he can go anywhere. How you doing there, silly chickens? I like that name, by the way. It's an amazing name. Yeah, I hope you like it. I mean, this could be changed out. We just did this for a little bit of fun. And what I might do is one day see if I can get a sponsorship and then like put sponsors here, like have like quite abuse it. Is the industry in China, Korea, and Manchuria now self-sufficient on fuel and oil? And that's a really interesting question, actually. Yeah, I mean, the font is so much easier to read. It is genuinely a lot nicer to read. It's a good question there. I feel like we produce oil in Manchuria somewhere. Can't remember. Okay, see the layer there, chickens. I love that name. Is it sufficient? I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's a very interesting question. It's a very interesting question. So we do have a pretty stupendous, stupendous amount of stockpile there. So it's like a Port Arthur, we have 445,000 fuel there. There's 295,000 oil. So there's a huge stockpile at Port Arthur, which I'd imagine, obviously, that would transfer around to other industries. I don't know if we'd be self-sufficient as such, but I think it I don't know, actually. It's one of those of, in the long run, we may eventually run out. It depends on how much oil. I'd have to take a look and see the actual usage and just the amount of production. I'd have to actually get the bloody data to really work it out. I'd say, really, we have enough to last a fair while, but I reckon we'd eventually run out. It depends on the amount of heavy industry we have. I think heavy industry uses, is it 2 fuel or 1 fuel? I can't remember the actual ratio that it uses. Yeah. It's a lot of units. Ah, thanks for that, Balance. Yeah, that's much appreciated, my man. You guys are so nice. I mean, the beauty is we got the oil over here, which is excellent. Which fire is brilliant too. I uses 1 unit fuel a day. Right, okay. Oh, is it 2 fuel? Oh, I see. I think it's one of those where effectively we have enough fuel to keep us going. And especially by having the additional fuel production out here, it really does help. Yeah. I don't know, we're setting ourselves up into a situation where we're going to be pretty good to go. I imagine it will extend our time in China and Korea. It's a very interesting question. It's one that I'd really have to take a look into to actually give an exact answer there, really. My hunch is to say it probably extends our time considerably. We're continuing to repair the oil over here at SunYan too, which is nice. I'd love to know where that oil's going. I'd wager it's probably heading to either Shanghai or Port Arthur. I'd wager it's heading to Port Arthur though. Yeah, there's no oil storage here. I don't think we control anywhere else that has heavy industry at this moment in time. I mean, SunYan would have had heavy industry there. So I think the heavy industry is over this way. Yes, the spice must flow. The spice melange. The oil melange. I believe it's heading to Port Arthur. Now, I'd have to take a look and see how it's increased, actually. It'd be really intriguing to see. That's something we'll take an interest in, man. We'll have to remind me to check that each time. Okay. Well, I mean, the good news is we are making good progress here. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. Major roads, they're making bloody brilliant progress. Yeah. So, they'll move through that hex tomorrow. Well, they'll arrive in this hex tomorrow, I believe. Yeah. They'll make an extra hex every now and then, actually, I think. It depends on how it actually stacks up. 23. Possibly they might just make an hex a day. Yeah. And the good news is when we get to the Rumchi, then that's even more oil there, which is excellent. Refinery there, light industry. It's going to be nice. It's going to be very, very nice. We just need to finish up Burma now. And I'd like to go ahead and seize that oil if I could. A little. Yeah. But I mean, at Lankar we have a 90 there, so it's 110 oil. And then we have... yeah. So it'd have about 161, 160-ish oil there in the north being produced. Well, oil production facilities. I don't know if we produce oil anywhere else in China. I feel like we do, but I can't recall. I don't think we do. No, I don't think we do. I have to say, we're looking pretty good. I don't know, it'd be very nice if we could capture Sorabaya's oil intact. I kind of do hope it moves over here to Malang to make it harder. I mean, arguably makes it harder, but if I can get that oil, I'd be really quite happy with that. So there's that oil to capture. I mean, this is it. We're not far from capturing another 300 over here at Bagway. The Magui. See, whoop, no. I'd like to move into this sort of area here. It would be nice to take these bases if I could, but we'll have to see about that. It would be nice to take that oil production away from him, but we'll see. It's going to be an interesting time. I mean, once we do finish China, then we do have essentially the world of us as our oyster, then, really. And we are getting there. We've got the two divisions that are assembling down here. And we'll soon have Imperial Guard and 5th moving through here as well, then. I mean, Kunming's actually a lot of production there. There's a lot of industry in China that I'd love to capture. Like, if we could get... I mean, Christ, can you imagine if we captured Chungking intact? That'd be ridiculously good for us. And essentially capturing any industry is worthwhile. Because, well, it's an industry we haven't had to build. Ah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That'd be really, really nice of you, Pametia. Thanks. Okay. So they're heading back to Nanchang. Let's take a look here, then. They can march onto the north. What I'll do then is split that division, so I'll have a unit head to Changsha, I'll probably keep a unit here and have another unit head here. I want to really control the roads around this area. Yeah, 10 units. I think we will. Well, we will expand heavy industry. We will expand the industry somewhere. It's likely to be in Korea, but we'll take a look. Really, we'd have to find somewhere that is arguably untouchable by the Allies, or at least untouchable for as long as possible. Really. Seems to be a supply issue down this way. I do wonder if it's been caused by that unit. It shouldn't be caused by that unit because we have control of both road sides. It just doesn't seem to want to flow down this way. But I imagine once the units move here, then it'll be okay. Yeah, it's still holding on to a fair amount, aren't they? We're expanding here, yes we are. Let's see. New Caledonia looks really good in this. It's nice to be able to see where the ocean shallow is at a glance. It's really nice. I'm going to have these subs move into this area. I've got a couple moving out this way, but I'm actually going to change it and essentially blanket this area to Lagi with subs. Looking forward to when we can properly operate down there. We do have 1,000 supply moving into Talagi soon. There's enough aviation support here, and what I'd like to do then is have that aviation support moved onto these different dot bases here, but at least we can have it spread out and begin to build up an area then. Yeah. Okay. So I do have this unit. That's not fast. Carrying plenty of supply. A little bit too bloody much supply, actually. Yeah, a little bloody too much supply. They loaded up fairly quick. It may be potentially worthwhile to have more supply here. I need one top what I'd like to have. Well, we could do another supply shipment down to truck in the near future anyway. I'm not going to have all that supply left in Neotalk. We just have a few K be enough. More than enough, really. But what I'd like to do then is obviously have the key 46 Dinas, I believe is the 2s. I'd like to have them based here in Neotalk so we can actually fly reconnaissance, long-range, bloody long-range reconnaissance flights over Wake Island. But the good news is at least then we can actually have some reliable reconnaissance then. Bomb reconnaissance is not a bad idea either. Right, so we have I-5 here. She's arrived for repairs. Yeah, major damage there that needs to be repaired. Cannot wait until we get the ARs. Really can't wait for that. There we are. I did load these tenders as well, actually. So do we have our DMSs? Okay. Once again, my favorite class of cruiser. Just freaking love it. That endurance is just... it's like... icing on the cake there, baby. I just really like them. I just really like him so much. It's crazy. Okay. So 85 prep for Wake. Yeah. So we'll take Wake. Hybrid or no hybrid Icey. I'd love to have a hybrid Icey. The issue is it just arrived so late in the war, it's just not worthwhile. If it arrived early, it'd be nice as an option, but yeah, it's too late, sadly. There's a part of me that still wants to do it, to be honest. Yeah. It's been a while since I've taken a look at it. Let's take a look at it again then. Yeah. There's a part of me that still wants to do it anyway. Oh, the hybrid gets double. Oh wow, that's pretty good actually. Didn't realise. You can fly float planes, which is arguably well worthwhile. And a good amount of float planes potentially too. It's later on in the war and it'd take a while to do. It's 180 days, but maybe. Yeah, the national borders are quite nice. How you doing there, Infinite? Good to have you, my man. Let's see then. So, I mean, let's take a look at the later upgrades, actually. So this would be the upgrade it essentially competes with. I'm not seeing these dual purpose guns. Are they just AA? Okay. Right. It might be just because it's not being listed properly, but yeah, AA, so it looks like they'll be dual purpose. Oh, that's handy actually. There's a difference in radar, which is intriguing. I'd have to take a look and see if there's any, which is actually better, whether the Type 13 is superior to the Type 21. Well, we have Type 22 and Type 13, which is interesting. Oh, so Type 22 there. So it's just the 21 is replaced by the 13, which is interesting. Possibly, yeah. I'd imagine so. There we are. So yeah, we'll prepare for the wake operation. I'm somewhat tempted to wait until we can get the reconnaissance set up in Ortok. But there's really not much in the way of barriers. I think once we have reconnaissance, then I know what I need. I do contemplate potentially bringing a division, but I don't think we'll need a division. There's also part of me that does think, well, when we do reveal our carriers, when we do reveal our intention to head towards Wake, that's when he'll reveal his carriers more than likely. I did shift some H6K4s out here. I don't think... Yeah, we had them running as well today. It's a lot of fatigue actually, so I'm going to have to decrease that search and just increase that rest a little bit. I want to bring that fatigue down. So I gave these fellas some time to recover. I'll probably break that squadron up and keep a few more. I'm somewhat tempted to have them shifted there, then have those guys shifted out. Try and reduce fatigue as much as possible. How are we doing on the airfields here? 81, 54, so that's progressing quite nicely. So we'll have a level 4 soon. Keep increasing that as well. Laser almost repaired. Yeah. So we'll organise things then to get engineers move into Shortlands. Yeah. Get that set up and then we can set this area up and then, yeah, we're going to have things moving. It still makes me wonder where his carriers are. We've not seen them for a long while now, it's kind of suspicious, but, well... Heavy volume of radio transmissions detected at Pearl Harbor is interesting. We will be using cruisers. We'll go in with cruisers to begin with. I'll probably have like a mix of cruiser and DMS. So I'd like to... Well, I assume that weight's probably going to have mine, so I'd probably have cruisers going to bombard and have DMSs probably... well, we'll have DMSs probably going first with cruiser escort. Clear mines where able, really. Or just bombard. And this is it. Probably bombard first of all. Then clear mines, I'd imagine. If we can suppress his guns, it does help a lot. But this is why I want to have the reconnaissance on Wake. Because if we know what we're dealing with on the island, it'll make it far easier to manage. We'll find out soon enough. So we see a lot of radio transmissions out here. Oh wow, we actually can see what is going in port. That's rare. Interesting. It'd be brilliant if you could have said CV. I'd have to tick that one off. Yeah, dear. There's definitely something. No, 2 versions each time. Interesting. I think it's just the basic version. It didn't say anything different. Yeah. I can shift them elsewhere, really. So says yeah, not be long. Says 8 days there. And that's a pretty effective hit by the 300kg bomb. She's going to be in for a while longer, but not that much. Hit by bloody big rock. Can't wait till she's ready. I mean, Fuji, wow. Fuji been knocked out, well, been damaged a fair while ago, wasn't it, by the Dutch DDs, wasn't it? Good news is we'll have her available again then, short order. Yeah. And the good news is there's 2 units that remain behind over here north, west of Prom. Those guys are sufficiently beaten up to the point where they can't move anymore, so that's good news. So it means we get to attack them again and really, ideally destroy them. Which is nice. Do need to run reconnaissance over on Akyab. On these bases over here, really. We need to identify where his air power is. Right, so we have 35th there. So 35th will arrive roughly 29th. A lot of things that happen on the 29th there, really. What I'm going to do here is save it. I'm going to be ending the stream in a moment. But what I'm going to do here is make sure they're not following just the 25th. I want them to march just independently to that hex. The reason being in case it does use bombers and it does bomb the 25th. I don't want to lose that progress. Yeah. Right, so there's no danger now of that. We do have a tank regiment making progress here, then. I do wish we'd had a tank regiment move out earlier. It would have been nice to make sure we were in these hexes beforehand, but it doesn't particularly matter, because it could have potentially moved in there with something meatier. It's hard to say. I don't imagine... He can't not be aware of this, to be honest. Right, we're looking good. 10th Division's marching towards Lancao, so they'll be here tomorrow. So another 2 days and roughly they'll be here. 2 turns roughly they'll be at Lancao. Hey, I was waiting last night for a turn. I'm like, well, I'll give it a little while longer. I was watching a good anime. I'm like, I'll give it a little bit while. Give it a while longer. I was also watching, and this is when I have my time for the shout out. Because I've been very much enjoying, and I did say I would give a shout out to him. Here we are. Mr. Big Board Gaming. I'm really enjoying that so far. I'm a big fan of war games. I don't play them very much because I don't have the room to actually play them. But there's Vassal, which you can definitely use. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. And it's interesting. I do like a lot of these war games. It's like this one I'd like to take a look at actually, because that could be quite intriguing. The one I've been looking at most, and it's sickening because it makes me want to spend money that I don't really have. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend checking it out. There's a lot of board game content, and that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. There you go, there's a shout out. Do check out the Big Board Game, and he has his own blog too, which is pretty fun to read. I do recommend the blog. And if you do go over and subscribe, do say that you're from XTRG, just XTRG sent you, that'd be cool. It makes me feel like I've actually got influence. But yeah, he's got a nice blog, which is pretty nice. I'm a big fan of these. I'd like to be able to do more of these sorts of things in the future. And when I do eventually move out, which is probably going to be kind of fucking Japan at this rate, but I will do board gaming stuff, really. But there we are. So we'll go ahead and we'll call the streaming down here then. So thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We're not too far now. Another 2 days will be here, give or take. Also progress again. Yeah. So we'll be here by the 29th. Yeah, the border games will be really fun. I've got a couple now. I've got Wing Leader. There's a couple others I'd like to get, but it's just getting them laid out, just having the time to play, really learn the rules, will be fun. Until next time, thank you for watching. I am Minasai, even though it's not night time, so Janae, sayonara. If you guys have enjoyed this, then please do consider subscribing to the channel here on Twitch and following me, much appreciated. If you do have Amazon, you can subscribe to myself here on Twitch. It does help to support me as a content creator without costing you any extra. Thank you very much. Until next time, goodbye for now.